Sociology and technology, how are they related? Well, today on She Leads, we are privileged to have a guest who have diverse knowledge in this segment and she'll help us dissect it. Please join in. I'm Abulatia Imbukwa.
Thank you so much, Mikal. Thank you so much, Success Africa. And hi, everyone. My name is Eunice Owino. I come from Migori. That is where I was born. And I'm married in Kabondo, Kasipol. I am a co-founder of an organization that is known as Center for Women Empowerment in Technology, SWETEC. We co-founded this program with my friend called Dr. Judy Njoki, who is a lecturer at Embu, at the University of Embu, Kenya. I'm also still a student. I'm pursuing my PhD. I'm working on my dissertation currently, and I'm a holder of Masters of Sociology in Community Development with a Bachelor's of Education. I'm also a Technovation judge. I'm one of the judges who look at the apps that are developed by young girls globally. So it is called Technovation Girls, and these girls, they've developed the apps. I'm a World Pulse Ambassador and also an Acumen Fellow for East African Fellowship.
You have an amazing profile, and of course, for you to get where you are right now, there are things you have done. So kindly tell us about your daily routine and the principles you abide by in life.
Well, my daily routine is not very fixed, but I'll just give an overview on what I do. I always wake up at 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 a.m. After doing my prayers, I go for jogging. We have a team of ladies and an instructor in the estate. So we meet from 4:45 to 5:45 for 1 hour. After that, I prepare myself, take breakfast. Then by 7 a.m., I'm reading mails, I'm reading news online, Nation online, the Standard online, just to catch up with what is happening. Then I take my coffee. After that, then I look at the schedule for that day. Most of the times, we have a coordinating office, Center for Women Empowerment in Technology office, where I go thrice in a week. It is based in Kasarani, to just see what is happening and what programs we have for the day. And sometimes we always have field visits because we run our programs in Homa Bay County, in Muranga County, and Migori County. So we look at the schedules. When we have to go to the field, then we'll have prepared to the field. Then if I'm working in the house, then I do a bit of online. There's some programs that we do online, meetings that I do online. Apart from that, I'm also a consultant on issue of gender. I'm a gender analyst, so on issues of gender. So depending with the organization, sometimes we work with People's Health Movement. Sometimes I work with some organizations that will consult or that will need some consultancies from me. Then by evening, I take my dinner by 7:30. Then I will not miss watching the news at 9. And I will do my work. Like I'm still working on my PhD dissertation, so I'll look at some reviews, I'll look at some work that have been done previously, then I'll sleep some minutes to midnight, or just a few minutes after midnight. That is my sleep time. So generally, that is how my day looks like.
Yeah, so let's talk about this amazing project that got you to be mentioned among the 21 women to watch.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you for that. Yes, World Pulse. Yes. World Pulse is a global forum that brings millions and thousands of women online. And I was a beneficiary. In 2013, I was trained on Voices of Our Future. So on how to bring the voices of the grassroots women and girls to the online platform. So I've been in World Pulse since 2013 to date, and they follow our programs. They follow the programs of all the people that they gave them. And I was so honored that I was enlisted. I was honored to be among the 21 women globally to be watched in this year, 2021. This was due to the things that we do, things that I spearhead, things that we work with as a team in our organization, Center for Women Empowerment in Technology. WIPAS looked at how we were bringing the issue of COVID online, how we were inspiring young girls and bringing our projects and our programs online. And I think that is one way that they used to now give us this forum of being among the 21 women globally to be watched this year.
That's big. And what other programs do you have under Center for Women Empowerment in Tech?
Yes. Center for Women Empowerment in Technology, in short we call it SWETEC, some call it SWETEC, was formed by two of us. A friend of mine who is called Dr. Judy Njoki, a lecturer at the University of Embu, and I. We came together in 2016 because we've been doing programs haphazardly without an organization. So in 2016, we thought like our ideas are connecting. We are working on issues of women, we are working on issues of girls, we are working on issues of education, and we are working on issues of technology. At that time, she was doing her PhD in technology. I was also, had just begun my doctorate, though I was doing my coursework at that time. So in 2016, we went for a retreat in Mombasa to just think through what kind of organization do we want. Then there, we came up with SWETEC, and we decided we are going to register it as a non-governmental organization. So we went through the entire process. In 2017, SWETEC, Center for Women Empowerment in Technology, was registered officially by the registration board in Kenya, the NGO board in Kenya. Then we started our programs. We had started our programs, but now we were doing them under our organization. So we were running programs that were dealing with hygiene and sexual reproductive health. We were running programs that are dealing with women, empowerment and technology. And we were running programs dealing with education and technology. And we were running programs dealing with all the economic and social aspects that affect women and how they can tap technology to just make them a step ahead on what they are doing. So we've run several programs in Murang'a County, Homa Bay County, and Migori County. Let me talk of the program for the girl child. We've been doing this in schools. We were looking at the sexual reproductive health rights and sexual education. And these were based with statistics that we came across. I will also just mention a bit that I worked in the county for 5 years. I was one of the pioneer officers in the devolution as county chief officer. So during that span, while working at the county, I got to understand a lot of statistics. I was in the sector of education and youth and ICT. So, and I was a champion on issues of gender and bringing the voices of the girls and the women out while at the county. So this gave me a good ground. When we looked at the statistics of Homa Bay, the teenage pregnancies were so heart-wrenching. Homa Bay was ranked to be the second in teenage pregnancies in Kenya, following Narok. Narok was at 40%, Homa Bay at 33%. And at that time when I was working at the county, I did my part to sensitize the community on how to protect the girl child, on how to report the cases. Now when at our organization, we took this a step, but now working with schools. Because these statistics, they span from schools to the homes, from the households to the schools to the community. That is how they come out. And when we looked at 2020, so many cases of violence, sexual abuse were reported in Kenya. The cases were running over 200,000 cases of girls and women molested and violated during the COVID period. And we looked at it as an organization and we said we will not just sit pretty that COVID is here, we have to start doing programs. And what we started with, sensitization, we started via Zoom. So we had our maiden webinar via Zoom in 2020, June. And we saw a very good response. We spoke out about the ills that were happening. We spoke out about the statistics. We just threw them out and people came out. And from there, partners came in to support us. We did a program of that sensitization in Murang'a County. Ahadi Trust Kenya came in to support our project. We were given sanitary pads. We were given support that can facilitate our movement. Then we went to Murang'a County and then we went to Homa Bay County and did the programs. But later when we noted this year, January, we were supported with the UNFPA on the dignity kits. We decided to bring in the boy child. We also noted that issues related to sexual reproductive health should not only be narrowed to girls. Because at one point in our program, we decided that these students, all of them, the pupils, we were at Kifoi Primary in Murang'a. We will give them some notepads to write issues that they felt have been disturbing them. 80% of the issues were bordering sexuality. They were bordering self-identity, lack of identity. They were bordering issues of abuse. Even boys get abused. And they were writing in the notes, anonymous notes. And this one also has made us to have program, continuous program, not one-off program, continuous programs with schools. In Murang'a, we are following 3 schools. In Homa Bay County, we are following up with 3 schools to walk with them the journey, to understand them, and then to see how will we continue to bring out these issues so that they are addressed at the community and at the policy level. So that is one program that SWETEC is running, hygiene and sexual reproductive health. With the girls, we now also incorporated the aspect of STEM so that girls can embrace issues of just loving sciences, loving the tech subjects, loving mathematics. And we get young girls. We are working with the 3 schools in Murang'a and the 3 schools in Homa Bay. Those are our piloting schools. And by good luck, let me say it is good luck, volunteers have come in to support us. For example, Kahithe alumni and the school of Kahithe in Murang'a, they came in to support us to come up with one class. Is it a class or a center or a hub, bigger than a class? It's like a hall or a hub that we were to launch in March, if not for COVID, but we are going to launch it once physical and these boundaries in Nairobi are opened up. We are going to launch this center in Murang'a County where we are going to train the young girls and boys on coding. And because we are dealing with issues of women, we are saying women and the girls and the boys are part of our children. So we are not leaving the boys. We are working with the boys. Beside that, SWETEC works with the women in Kabondo, Kasipol. We are working with 2 women groups currently. And in Kabondo, Kasipol, we have a center for women empowerment in technology. We already have a center, and I know very soon Success Africa will come to visit us in our center and meet our women. So we are working with 2 women groups. One group is called Kakumu Widows, self-help group, And one group is called Ramura Support Group. The Ramura Support Group is a group that is working with HIV, women infected and affected with HIV and AIDS. So we started working with them long time. I started working with them long time as a person, as giving back to the society. And now when Sociologist was born, we incorporated them in the program. So the women are doing their normal program. They have table banking, they have their savings and their shares. There are some that are doing goat rearing in a projected way, and there are some that are doing potato farming. What Swetek is doing for these women is injecting technology. In 2019, when we went to launch their goats, because they started with few goats, like 11 goats, but in 2019, that is in 2014, they started with 11 goats. So in 2019, after 5 years, when we went to launch the goats, there were over 118 goats. So each woman had not less than 10 goats. We realized that the women were still keeping their money in the box. They had an account, but because of the distance to the bank, the distance is around 18 kilometers. That is far, because the transport means in the village is that you first pick a boda, a motorcycle that will ferry you to the center, where you take a vehicle now to where you'll get your bank. So when we calculated that, we realized that women will use like 2,000 for them to go and bank and come back, because they have never heard about mobile banking. They have never heard about online banking, that they can bank and deposit their money online, just using technology, just using their phones, technology. They didn't know that. And fortunately, we had 3 women in the group who had smartphones. We had to demonstrate that this is how you register, and we registered them for mobile banking for them to only deposit, because withdrawal you have to go physically, and they only withdraw twice in a year. So we tell them, instead of keeping the money in a box where it can be stolen, it can be interfered with, put your money here where you also have your record. That SMS, you can always print it out. It will be a very good document that you can file. And to me, I thought that was a very good plus. And sometimes we assume that maybe even in the villages, they already know that their phone was not only to receive money and only to make calls or messages, but their phones can also be used for many things. We also engage the women on issues of health through technology, because our center is enlightening them and bringing the tech aspect of it. And how did we do it? We are still in the process with this. We are telling our women that business can also be done online. You are selling your peanut butter, Ramula Support Group. You have your peanut miller, the mill peanut, and they sell to the groups around. But you can also mill and even sell it online. You farm potatoes in bulk, because they have huge shambas. They farm potatoes and sell at the roadside, where they sell at throwaway prices. We can come up with a structure, and we make all this to be like, we will also go e-commerce. So these are some of the steps that we are making with women. And what we realized, technology in the rural setup is used minimally. It hasn't been tapped. And Swetek, that is geared to work in the rural setups, we are now entrenching and moving our small steps towards accomplishing and bringing real tech that women and girls and our youth can embrace in our rural setups.
It's incredible work you're doing for the women in the rural setups, the table banking stuff. And in the conversation we've had, you've spoken about technology with so much passion and zeal. Now I'm tempted to ask, how are they related?
The interconnection between sociology and technology. Well, like I mentioned earlier, my background is education and sociology. I did sociology at my master's level, and I remember at my master's, my dissertation, my thesis was on technology and youth. Way back in the year 2008, that is when I graduated with my master's. Now, when we look at sociology, it looks at almost everything in the world, everything in the society. That is what we are looking at when looking at sociology. And when we bring aspect of tech in the society, it means a sociologist can get a better angle of dissecting the impact of technology better to the community, and even giving recommendations on how to even improve, make it better, looking at the gaps and so forth. Now, as our organization, Center for Women Empowerment in Technology, yes, there's the technical aspect that we have these instructors that are training our team, training our participants in technology, the hard way technology. But then we have the analysts, the sociologists, who will look at the impact. Is there an impact in that use of technology, of embracing technology to women? What impact will it have? Like, we are working with women, and when we look that we now train these women on how to do mobile banking, there's an impact. The impact of that is the social aspect of it. The impact is that they are now able to save their money that they used to commute with to go and bank. 3 of them to go and bank the money in their bank. Now they, within a gadget, in their gadget, they are able to send their money in their account, have documentation for it, and a sociologist can track that easily. So there is a huge connection on most aspect of life that happens in our life that a sociologist can understand and even put them better, especially looking at the impact. And when we are looking at most aspects and most programs, we look at the end result, and the end result is always the impact. And a sociologist can analyze it better.
And of course, in executing these projects in the rural settlements, there are challenges you have faced. What are those challenges?
Challenges are there, and we are working on them. Having running an organization is not very easy. It has been a journey for my colleague, Dr. Judy Njoki, and I, as the co-founders, and our entire team, the board of management, the volunteers that we work with. It is an entire process that we are still working in and working in. Of course, the main issue will always be finances. We've been trying to run our programs initially from our own pockets. But is that sustainable? That is the question we kept asking ourselves. Is it sustainable? So we brought in partners of like-mindedness. Partners that we feel will help us walk the journey, or we will combine effort to have a success that we can together embrace and say, we worked together and we achieved. So finances has been an issue, but we are happy that we are still working and inviting more partners to come and work with us in the journey. Habitat Trust came in to support us. Partners like Reproductive Youth, IRF, it is working here in Nairobi, in the slums, came in to support us during, especially with foodstuffs, during 2020, at the onset of COVID. Yes. They gave us foodstuffs where we could give the women at the rural place. We've worked with UNFPA when they came in to support us with their dignity kits, very beautiful bags with assorted items for back to school. And those will cushion the girls and the boys who are coming from the rural setup. We have worked with Roddenberry Foundation during the COVID period. they also gave us some funding that really helped us to reach up to Migori County and Murang'a County in our programs. We are still in a journey. The main issue is just to get more partners to walk us the journey. We believe when we work together as partners, we will achieve greater. And we are not giving up as much as the finances are limited, are solid, which most of the times we go back to our pockets. We believe that one day, one time, we will be working and supporting even more groups and even expanding our programs from the two women groups that we are working and from the 6 schools that we are working with in Kenya. I know there's a day that we will work with more as we believe in giving results and seeing change in the community.
On to learning and the COVID-19 period, we realized that most learning programs went online. You did a research in line with that, the use of technology in facilitation of learning in the COVID-19 period. Tell us about the statistics you came up with.
We carried out we carried out a research during the COVID period through SWETEX, through our organization Center for Women Empowerment in Technology. Dr. Judy, who is my co-founder, and I decided to carry out a survey on the use of technology and learning during the COVID period. So we carried our survey for 4 months from June to October. That is the period we carried our survey in Homa Bay County, Migori County, and Murang'a County, the rural places that we were working in. And it was so evident that technology and learning is so minimal in our rural setups, so minimal. That in a sample, when in a sample, a few had just listened to radio. Very few had listened to radio programs that were taking place. But most of them, when we look at even the gadgets that they own through their parents or so, their phones are not the smartphones that could give them the learning opportunities. We had to sensitize others that there are some programs like Shupavu where you can get some reading materials just in a local mobile phone, a normal Android phone. But still, they weren't even informed that such programs are there, that mobile learning is there. The television programs are also very minimal. I know very few, we also know that very few people on television in our rural setups, very few. Majority on radios, but we also learned that there is competition between parents and their children. Parents, there are some programs that parents follow in the local FM stations that they will not be ready for their children to switch to want to learn something, and that there's some program that is going on. So there was a clash. That is what we got to know. There was a clash. We also realized most of them were not even informed on the schedules, because even a radio program cannot run learning classes, education programs throughout the day. No, they have schedules. They weren't aware of those schedules. And in our recommendations in that paper, we recommended that the Ministry of Education should just upscale internet usage in the rural setups. It's so minimal. 1. 2, the issue of sensitization of programs in the radio or televisions sensitization should take place. And the government has machinery right until the grassroots. From the president to the assistant chief at the grassroots. The assistant chiefs, they always have barazas. It will be nice to hear chiefs encouraging parents, just giving sensitization of the programs that are going on. So it means the chiefs are supposed also to be furnished with schedules so that when they are talking, they say, In KCB, KBC, we will have these programs running, this and this and this, and sensitize the parents. And I find that this paper is so important because COVID is still with us. Remote learning is so critical today and tomorrow, so critical. And we are saying as an organization that we are working with like-minded people, because now we are developing a program that we can put, that can be used on a phone with our children. So we are still in the process of developing this, but we still encourage that remote learning should be put into practice. Finally, in this year 2021, we were able to publish our paper, our research in a journal. So our research is in a journal. More details, if you need, we will put it there with Success Africa. People can go and look at what we did, the recommendation that we gave. And being that we are an organization that is able to implement some of the recommendation, we are also inviting like-minded minds, partners, to come in and support the cause of implementing some of this recommendation that we had put in our paper. I will give you the link to the paper. Yes, yes.
Of course, there's still those girls at home there who have aspirations and they don't know where to begin with. What would you want that girl with inspiration to know?
Well, I would like to tell any girl, any woman, any lady out there that once you have an idea, just dive deep into your idea. Never shy from your idea. Share with like-minded people, share with your confidants, share with people that you think are working in that area, because they will now bring it out better. Don't be afraid of your idea. Many people have ideas, but they shy out of bringing them out. Like when we had this idea with my co-founder, Dr. Judy Njoki, we said we are working, we are getting money, yes, but how do we give back to the society? We have this desire on working with gender, and we have this desire on bringing out the aspect of technology. Then it came out from an idea, we dived deep into it, dissected it, thought about it, planned it, and then here it is. Center for Women Empowerment in Technology was born. I'm encouraging any woman, any girl, any person, should you have an idea within you, this is the century of creativity. This is the century of innovativeness. Bring it out, and never shy on your idea.
So beautiful. So you have already spoken about the future plans.
No,
Now you have any other?
no, nataka kuweka
Okay. Any future plans?
Yes. The future that we envision on Swetek is so huge. We envision a center, a full center in the 3 counties and beyond, maybe in all the counties in Kenya. A full center that will deal with issues of technology and women. That when you go to Kilifi County and meet the women of Kilifi deep in the village, that those women will be tech in a way, and they'll be dealing with issues of technology in their programs. And they will use technology as an enabler to even do better in the programs that they run. I envision that center that will be all over Kenya, in all the 47 counties. That is what we envision in this organization. And it is a journey that needs a team. We are working with a team, and it is a journey that needs partners. We are inviting more partners so that we may realize our dream of having Center for Women Empowerment in Technology in all the corners of Kenya, and that our women will be now seeing everything at the global village that people are talking about. The women of Turkana, the women of Samburu, the women of Kuria, the women of Kabondo Kasipul. That is our vision.
Beautiful vision. May it come to pass. There is no idea that is unique to someone. If you have an idea, share it with people and let them help you shape it. This is She Leads, brought to you by me, Abulatia Imbukwa.